supermajority in the National Assembly.
I didn't talk about supermajority.
Yes, you talked about majority. I know they call it supermajority. So let us come back to the practice. He's talked about the theory, but he's alluding to the fact that we need to be practical. So there is Jalango from Langata. There is my friend Mark Nyamita from Uriri. And you know Uriri and my home, I mean, Suna is our neighbors. There is Paul Abur from Rongo. So what is it that has happened in these constituencies? You know, they went to Migori. Why are they talking about Raila? Why can't they tell us that because Mark Nyamita is now working with us and we have enough resources and he has enough lobbying capabilities, this is what we brought to Uriri. I can tell you without fear of any contradiction that Uriri is one of the constituencies that is agriculturally productive, same as Rongo. But the tobacco industry has collapsed completely, has ruined lives of so many people. So if they started with such conversations telling us that this is what we are doing in Migori, and we have these two, actually there are 3 members of parliament in Migori, including the 5 in the 2 in Kuria. What did they show us in those 5 constituencies? Awendo, Rongo, Uriri, Kuria East, Kuria West. Absolutely nothing. They went there and talked about Raila. So what is this lobbying about? What is the lobbying that Dismas is talking about? What has happened in Langata since Jalango went to State House and started bragging that, you know, we have to work with the government? Nothing.
Affordable housing was launched.
You see, affordable housing is what this government promised. And affordable housing started with President Uhuru Kenyatta's regime.
Okay.
And actually, that is the reason probably why they retained P.S. Hinga. But let us just be practical. Some of these things, we cannot run away from the reality. This is emasculation of, Parliament. And it is basically trying to, one, weaken the Parliament, both the National Assembly and Senate, by bringing in members to the ruling coalition. And number 2, to create that perception that Azimio is losing ground. But let me say this. What they are essentially doing is for every elected leader that they co-opt, through whatever means that they do, a lot more people will troop to the streets. Why? Because when the people realize that the people they entrusted, their aspirations on in terms of development are co-opted into a regime that so far has not shown us any intent on developing, this country to the next level, the people will lose hope. And the people will start thinking, how can we express ourselves? And the good thing is our constitution provides for that. And I think what the Inspector General of Police is saying about demonstration is irrelevant and immaterial. He cannot stop any demonstration. He cannot even proclaim any demonstration illegal. The only thing he needs to do is provide a due process of how they can work with anyone who wants to demonstrate. Because the Constitution is clear, expressly clear in Article 37. Everyone has a right, and that right does not extend to infringing on any other person. That is where the police come in, to ensure that anyone who is coming out to demonstrate does not infringe on the rights of others. But I'll tell you the reason why there is fear. And the reason why they send a lot of messages to scare people, including fake pictures from other countries, from other demonstrations. The reason why they have fear is very simple. People go to the street because life is unbearable. People go to the street because of the cost of living. Dismas might be privileged. He doesn't know that the cost of electricity has gone high. He doesn't know that milk has gone high. He doesn't know. And even if he knows, maybe he has another agenda that we may not understand. But I'll tell you, things are not easy for people, and that's the reason why people are going to the street. And it is not like things are not easy for people who voted for this government or people who didn't vote for this government. It is for all Kenyans. And the real fear is that when these demonstrators who are called by Azimio go to the street, all Kenyans who have nothing to do, who have lost hope because there is no sense of direction of how things will get better, will come out to the streets. And if it is peaceful, what will happen? The media will be all over the place. The people who will speak against this regime, the people who will voice themselves about the suffering that they are going through today, are not really the people who voted for Azimio, are actually the real hustlers who are suffering. And the people who will go and make noise and say, we were promised a lot of things. We were promised as Mama Mbogas, watu wa chini, watu wa boda boda, that things will be better for us. We were promised that this government will be for us. Of course we know. It's not like they're going to be appointed in cabinet.
Okay.
But nothing much has changed for them. But essentially, the same things that the Kenya Kwanza team was saying while they were campaigning just a few months ago, that will not create positions for Wadosi. This will be a Mama Mboga government, are actually the exact opposite of what they've done. I mean, all the CSs who have been appointed, what does that say to the mtu wa chini, to the Mama Mboga, when the cost of living has gone high? There is a sense of disenchantment and disillusionment, and if these demonstrations were allowed to be peaceful, it will be embarrassing to this government, and that is why they don't want these demonstrations to be peaceful.
Who doesn't want? The government, the police?
Now, you help me. Is there a distinction between the police and the government and the ruling coalition? There is no distinction because, I mean, it's a police service. So, if people are going to demonstrate, it is a police service. They need to render services to everyone. The guys who are demonstrating and the guys who are demonstrating.
Then tell me this. Those who hold the thought that perhaps this demonstration